Welcome back to a brand new season of We Talk Health, the official podcast of West Tennessee Healthcare. I am Lori Smith, the Director of Communications and Marketing for West Tennessee Healthcare, and we're excited to kick things off with a fresh voice at the mic, one that many of you already know from years on local talk radio and a good friend of mine, Keith Shirley. Keith has been a trusted voice in West Tennessee for decades, known for his quick wit, deep curiosity, and genuine connection to this community. We're thrilled to have him leading the conversation as we continue exploring the stories, people, and innovations that keep our region healthy. This season promises even more engaging stories, and Keith will bring his unique interviewing style and hometown insight to every episode. Welcome, Keith.
Thank you, Lori. That's a lot to live up to, and I'm going to do my best. I'm truly honored to be here. I'm excited to connect with West Tennessee in this new way and sharing stories that matter. Toward the end, I became very interested in stories and the stories that people have. And everyone has one. And we're going to explore those stories here in the weeks and months and hopefully years to come. I hope to be able to give you information that matters, make a difference for you and things that matter for you, and to highlight the incredible things that are happening across West Tennessee healthcare. This is so much more than a hospital. It started off that. Many of you will remember the early days of what General Hospital was and where it was. It has become so much more, so many things that you don't know. And I promise you, you will not want to miss an episode because it'll be all about the stories that make up you, your family, your experiences, and West Tennessee healthcare. So let's get started.
Keith, may I ask you a few questions so our audience can get a little more acquainted with you?
Sure, go right ahead.
Many of our listeners already know your voice, but for those who may not, tell us a little bit about your background and what drew you to broadcasting.
Desperation. I was literally, I came to West Tennessee from California and Nashville, and I had friends here. I had family in Jackson and in Humboldt, and so I was very familiar with the area, but not a place I planned on coming back to. It was the place that I was from. And it turned out that being from here also meant that there were still things that I could do here. I got very involved in tourism and in music, legacy, and so much that Jackson had to offer. And it just a little bit ahead of my time. And I was looking at opportunities, and folks at 101.5 were just getting started with talk radio. And Steve Bowers cornered me. He said, "This is a new thing, kind of like what we're doing here." He said, "This is a new thing, a new angle on what's going on. Give it a chance." And 26 years later, I was still doing it and learning more and more about the community every day and the people from here. So many fascinating people, and not just the celebrities, but just people with stories.
So what do you love most about connecting with people in our community?
I think the thing that I love most about what I do is people are willing to open up and talk with me, and I'm very respectful of that, and I encourage that. I think to be able to make people feel comfortable in telling their story. It's not about me. This is about their story. And a lot of these folks, nobody's ever even asked them their story, much less sat down and listened to them. So I think just being able to connect with people through storytelling.
I love it. What made you interested in this project with We Talk Health?
Because there's so many things that are going on beyond just the hospital. And it was curiosity and how to get those stories out there. You know, we talk about what's important to a community, and you cannot replace the importance of health, not just treating sickness, but staying healthy and wellness. And what can you do? Because you look at all that costs a community if it's not there. And then such a pride in this organization, its size and how it began and its stories, and all the people here that have stories. So yeah, the opportunity to participate in that.
You've interviewed everyone from local leaders to everyday heroes. What have you learned about storytelling that you plan to bring to We Talk Health?
I think listening, first of all, to what people are saying. If you sit down with, these are my questions and these are your answers, it sounds very contrived. But once people start talking, quick story, and I'll try not to name any names and be good about this, but I was doing an interview with one of the board members of the Hollywood Cemetery. And it was an annual event, and that was coming up. And he sat across from me, and he said, and he was a doctor. He said, how long are we going to be doing this? And I said, it'll be about 20 minutes. Oh, Lord, I don't have enough information. I'll never be able to say anything over that. I don't know what I'm going to do. Let me call and get this. And so I just sat and listened to him. And afterwards I said, you treated a lot of patients. Are they ever nervous before you sit down? He said, yes, they are. They're very nervous. I said, what do you tell them? He said, I tell them to relax. I've done this 1,000 times. Yep. And that 20 minutes went by fast. So once people feel comfortable and they know that you're listening, they'll open up and lead the conversation.
Yeah. What can listeners expect from this new season of We Talk Health?
Information that they didn't already have. Or if you think you have it, things that you think you know, you probably don't. I have learned, and it's funny that this should come up because I was thinking about this last night. We think that there are 8 billion people on this planet having a shared experience. There are 8 billion people on this planet having 8 billion experiences, and no two of them are the same. And we tell ourselves stories about what we think is going on. Very seldom is it the same story that somebody else will tell us. So I think even if you think you know, listening, you'll learn a lot.
You've always been passionate about local stories, and that is very clear. So how do you see this podcast continuing to strengthen the bond between West Tennessee Healthcare and the communities it serves?
I think when people find out that there are so many programs and so many opportunities here to not just get well from some accident. And I have come to West Tennessee Healthcare from every side that you can. I've been here at board meetings and I've interviewed and I've followed the news. I've been here as a patient. I've been here visiting people. Every way that you can come at this, I have been here. And I think that when people find out that there's so much more about staying well, programs for kids, programs for moms, programs for singles, programs for seniors, all the different things that are going on that'll get you back into the community. I think that that's what they'll find out.
What is one message that you hope every listener takes away from this podcast?
Well, the first thing that I hope you take away from this is that wasn't a waste of time. I hope you don't get through with it, and I'm going to do the very best we can. You know, a friend of mine used to say, this is going to be 90% information, or 90% entertainment, 10% information, but the information will be entertaining. And that's kind of the approach that I'm taking at this. I want you to feel like that this was a well-purposed use of your time. And then also that you're going to know something that maybe it won't matter this week. Maybe it'll be next week. Maybe a month from now, somebody in your family has to have open heart surgery. Maybe they have to have a stent put in. Maybe they get a diagnosis that you're aware of. And you'll be better informed to help them.
Keith, we are so glad to have you on board, and I know our listeners are going to love this season's fresh energy and thoughtful conversations. For our audience, please make sure to follow We Talk Health wherever you get your podcast, and stay tuned for new episodes featuring the people who keep West Tennessee healthy, now hosted by Keith Shirley. New episodes will drop on Thursdays.
God bless, be well, and never stop learning.